Welcome to Celtics post-game live presented by New England Ford Dealers and Ford Trucks. Scal, Amina Smith here with you. The Celtics lose this one to the Miami Heat, 128-102 in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And they didn't just lose, Scal. They got embarrassed tonight down there.
Another embarrassment.
Another embarrassment. Where do the Celtics go from here?
I mean, I'm going to South Beach for sure. I mean, like, that's
oh my goodness.
No way. There's no way I'm going back to the hotel room after this one.
Yeah.
Like, I would, as a group, you got to group up and you got to get together. But as far as this, here's the problem. Miami, they're more disciplined. They're more patient. They have purpose. Mm-hmm. They play with a purpose. They know when we drive, here's what we want to do. When we got this guy, like when Jimmy Butler has Rob Williams, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drive him, violent pump fake, go into the body. They're just more prepared. They're more disciplined, and they're more able to execute their game plan. So I think the Celtics have more talent. I really believe that. But when you watch, it doesn't look like that team, the Celtics, they're even capable of beating the Heat in the last two games. I would say for game one, they had a chance. In this one, I don't believe that anymore.
Let's bring in Eddie House right now. And Eddie, I was just talking to Scal before we started the show about the fact that before this matchup, before the Eastern Conference Finals, everyone was talking about how the Celtics have so much more talent on this roster. But then I look at the Miami Heat, and I see that they're matching the talent that's on this Celtics roster and actually really exceeding it now that they're down 3-0 in this series. What was your biggest takeaway from this matchup?
Well, the biggest takeaway is the Miami Heat are just more prepared. No, damn that. Let me say this. I feel like the Celtics have quit on their coach. Let's call it what we really see. I feel that those guys out there don't believe in what their coach is doing. We've seen that done in many other places. I don't believe that they really believe in Joe Mazzulla. I just feel that because if you believe in whoever's out there's the leader of your team, whether it be a coach, that message is passed down through the superstars. Lackluster efforts, not getting out in transition, not getting back in transition defense. To me, it looks like a team that's already defeated. So, I hate to say like this, but you know, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if we go in and lay another egg because we've been laying them, you know, this whole series.
It is crazy that Jason Tatum, his rookie season, went toe-to-toe Game 7, had a lead against LeBron James. And I would think that, like Jimmy Butler's good, but he's not LeBron. Yet we're down 3-0 to an 8-seed team that lost to Atlanta in a play-in and was down by 10 to Chicago to get into the playoffs. So it does feel like of all the playoff games and playoff series that we have had in the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown era, this feels like the worst one. Mm-hmm. You know, like the only other one where I felt like a team really dominated them, I mean, that one year with Kyrie against the Bucks, but was Miami Heat in the bubble.
Yeah.
I felt the same thing going on. Like the Miami Heat are always prepared, and they have an answer for everything that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown throw at them.
And one thing I found that was interesting.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Let me say this real quick. Scal, does that look like a team that's not playing for a championship? Does that look like a team that's basically quit? You don't get blew out in we all understand. You lose, because if you even split, if you win this game and you lose game 4, you 3-1, your back is all the way against the wall. Does that look like a team? I'm asking you. This is player to player. Does that look like a team that's not all the way there?
Does that look like a team that's not all the way there? It does look like a team that's not all in. They're not.
So that's yes.
Well, first of all, I identified that when Grant Williams poked the bear and no one stepped up. I was like, okay. That's when I knew. That's when I knew. I didn't, going into, I told you guys, you said, am I concerned? No, I'm not concerned anymore because when I saw that, I thought, oh, man, that's not what I'm used to.
Right.
Like every team that I've been on that's been really good. See, I played 11 years. 2 years, I don't think we were good enough to win a title. But the rest of the time I was in the NBA, I was on title contenders. Those other years, if that happened, everyone would have been there.
Right.
So when I looked at that, I thought, okay, that's alarming to me. Then today, we're watching them play, and they'll give effort one pass. Miami Heat making 8, 9 passes. And as the passes continue to climb, the effort continue to drop. And so Celtics go down, take a quick shot, do the same thing all over again. That right there was like, okay, it stamped the approval of what I saw in game number 2.
What I thought was interesting was the fact that Al Horford, in 2 different timeouts, he was in the coach's seat talking to his teammates. And they said that during the broadcast, and I found that interesting because I thought, okay, where is Joe Mazzulla? Why is he not trying to fire up the guys and get them set and get them kind of refocused for this game 3? But, Eddie, I mean, defensively also, the Celtics fell apart in this matchup. Just why did they struggle on that end of the floor?
Well, let me tell you this, Amina. If it takes somebody to rah-rah you up in this situation after you were in a situation last year to win it all, and then you come back and you have a situation to get back to an opportunity to win it all, and there ain't nothing that nobody could say, man. There's nothing. And not what I could say. It's not what you could say. It's not what the media could say. It's about what you go out there and do. And the bottom line is, again, my pregame thing was discipline, right? My keys to the game was discipline. Did we have discipline? We didn't have discipline anywhere. We didn't even have discipline in who was going to be in the coach's chair when we're going to be trying to get the guys riled up. I mean, there was no discipline anywhere.
The Celtics, they were outscored 32-17 in that third quarter, and that's really, Scal, where this game, I feel like at this point it was pretty much over.
Yeah, I mean, the Celtics made a little bit of a run. Eddie touched on it at halftime, and then Jimmy Butler right there taunting out. That was cold-blooded. Mm-hmm. And then they came out, and Miami went to another level. So, I mean, if you come out of the half and you ain't gonna bring it, then this is what's gonna happen. So we can sit here and talk about Miami's patience, which I believe is amazing, right? The Celtics' lack of effort, which is glaring. But this whole thing, if this is not, if they don't think it's a year or whatever, this looks like to me the Celtics is tapped out. Now, listen, you never know with this team, but man, you're down 3-0. It didn't look like today that they had to fight like they want to get this thing back to Boston tied 2-2.
The Celtics, they were also 11 of 42 from beyond the arc. That's the worst that they've seen this season. Eddie, at what point do you just kind of let that go and figure out a different game plan to score some points?
Well, I was been trying to let that go a long time ago when we were talking about a live by 3, die by the 3 team. When I figured that's the identity. We talked about what is a team's identity. Last year, we hung our hat on defense. This year, we came out shooting crazy. Right? Was it sustainable? Yeah, if you play defense and get opportunities. Beginning of the season, long season. Live by the 3, die by the 3, exactly what and if a team shoots better than you and plays better than you on the defensive end, you're going to lose more games than you win. And we're in that situation right now with the Miami Heat. The one thing I see, think about this. With 7:42 left in the fourth quarter, right? They was up, 23 points or something like that? Some crazy number. We score a basket. What did Eric supposed to do? Beep, instantly. Call a timeout. Hey, don't forget, there's no letting go of the rope. Like, that's not what we about to listen. That's not what we're going to hear in this press conference after the end of the game. We're going to call this timeout. We're going to get this right now. And if you ain't on board, then you're going to be over here sitting next to me. And to me, that is the difference right here. Not only in this series, but I think it's been a difference all season long, which created what we're seeing right now in the series.
Scal, did that have more to do with the Heat defending that 3-point line, or the Celtics just not having it from beyond the arc tonight?
No, their defense was locked in. I didn't see many open shots. I thought in the first half I saw 4, and then in that third quarter I maybe saw 2. So no, the Heat were locked in. I think the Heat. I think to beat them, you have to have crazy discipline, as Eddie said, and patience. And we lack both of them.
I mean, I think about these two teams, and they match up. They see each other every single year throughout the regular season and in the postseason. Do the Miami Heat, do they have Boston figured out at this point?
I mean, with this group, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You could say that with the talent discrepancy of last year. You could say that about last year too. So, no, I mean, Eric Spoelstra knows how to guard Tatum and Brown. They focus on Tatum and Brown, and everything else. They don't like say, all right, we're just going to let everybody else beat you. I'm pretty sure Eddie would probably tell you this, that they'll say, we're going to stop Tatum and Brown, and we're going to stop Derek White and Malcolm Brogdon. But our focus, to me, it feels like when I watch them play and Tatum and Brown have the ball, it's all eyes on those two guys. We're going to make sure we're doing this. When you drive, we're going to do this. And if you don't, like Eddie said, beep, timeout. Nope, that's not what we're doing right here. So they just look like a different level of a team.
Yeah.
If we're identical, and I didn't see it. When I was watching during the regular season, Tyler Hero dribbling around, taking hezzy jumpers, I didn't see it. They got rid of that because he got hurt. All of a sudden, that ball starts moving. They got more patience. This is the Miami Heat team that has dominated the playoffs. And in the regular season, I just didn't see that.
Now look at that final score down there in Miami, 128-102.